Hey guys, this is Mayuri.
And this is Bruce.
Welcome to Get Money or Get Out.
Hey guys, we're going to be talking, what's our subject today?
Our subject on this specific video is about, is a house not an asset?
Is a house an asset or is it a liability? So I remember reading this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki, one of my favorite books, financial books, where he talks about a house is not an asset, and they just keep repeating that. All of those money guru guys say that a house is not an asset, it's not an asset. And you know, it's repeated also among, it's kind of just been a mantra for everyone. And what would you say about that?
I do get what they mean when they say it, because my interpretation of what they say is, when they say it's not an asset, is when you should not be investing so much and wasting so much of your money with upgrades because it costs a lot. Meanwhile, 10 years, 20 years later, you still own one house because you poured all your resources into that same one house.
The bottom line of what they're trying to say is that, okay, what's the difference between a liability and an asset? Liability is money that comes out, something that takes money out of your pocket. That includes kids, that includes your utilities. All those things are liabilities. It is literally, that's the definition of it. If you have to spend money on it, it comes out of your pocket, it's a liability. A house, you got a mortgage, you got damage that happens on the house, you got all kinds of things that you have to pay for with the house. It's a liability. An asset is money that comes in. That is, your job makes you money. If you have interest on a balance from your savings account, it makes money. That's, you know, if you made money on your stocks or whatever. So those are all assets. It brings money in, or something that you can sell and make you money, but it's not taking money out. That's the difference between a liability and an asset. So now what I'll say is this: a house, it's a liability until it's an asset, because it can be an asset if you flip it. If you flip it, and also there are aspects of your house that can be an asset, such as your equity in the home can be an asset, because you can literally take a loan out on that equity. You could pull the equity out of the home. You could sell the house and make more money off of it. So, you know, just kind of wanted to clarify that, because there's all of this back and forth between how that stuff works, and there's some argument about it. To me, it's not really an argument. It's straightforward. If it's a liability, it takes money out of your pocket. If it's an asset, it makes you money. A house is a liability until it is an asset.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
I'd say it's not an asset, right? Because every time you fix it, you can't deduct it to your taxes whenever you fix it, unless it's for energy saving. And even when you claim it as energy saving improvement, it is still not a lot of write-off that you can claim.
Do you mean like some people think that a house is an asset because you can write things off on, you can write part of it off on taxes or something like that? Is that where you're from?
No, what I mean is, my interpretation of what they mean is that that's why it's not an asset, because what you spend in that home, there's no incentives, right? Tax-wise, you've already been taxed by the government, and any improvement that you do.
Bottom line, if if it's taking money out of your pocket, it's a liability.
Yeah.
Period.
But you gotta also think that a lot of people who are listening to them are middle class. I mean, yeah, it might not be an asset, but you gotta provide shelter for your family.
It's, you know, there's liabilities that you need and liabilities that you want. There's things that you have to have, but they are liabilities. You know. That said, you can flip your house into an asset, which is exactly what we did. Like we were living in a house. We still, by the way, still live in a house, and we buy a house. We have two. Okay, so one house, we rented it out, and it is an asset because it makes us money. That house literally makes us money every month. Then we live in a house where it's a liability because we have to pay a mortgage. There's damage that happens in the house. We got to pay for that. You know, all those things are liability. We got utilities going into the house, all that kind of stuff. You know, we're going to fix the yard. All that's liabilities. So we have one house that's a liability and one house that's literally an asset. Now, the house that we're living in, that's a liability, it has equity. When we move out, if we move out, we can always flip it and make money, and then it's an asset. Or we can rent it out, and then it's an asset. So we have those options with our house. So.
And then also, but how could you make it one to where it can become an asset, except the equity?
You can move out and then rent it. Move out, fix it up, move out, and then rent it out to somebody for lower than our mortgage, and then we make more money. Let's say we're paying $1,200, we move out, we rent it out for $1,400. Now we're making $200 a month. Now it's an asset. Not only is it paying our principal and our interest, but it's also putting a little cash flow in our pocket. Now it's an asset. I'm not sure like what those super rich dudes do, like
Grant
Cardone. I don't know what he said. Do not like only a fool owns a house and all that kind of stuff. I think he rents all his houses. I'm not sure, or maybe his business
he
owns
rents it to himself.
I don't know. I'm not sure like what kind of magic he's working there. Maybe I should read more of his books. But he does not own a home. Like he rents it. He rents. That's all he does. And I think what he does is his company owns the homes, and then he rents it
to himself.
I think. I don't know. I don't even know if that's legal. I don't know. That's beyond my. We're not there yet.
That's something that like Rich Dad Poor Dad and Grant Cardone, you know, those are like people who actively say that it's not an asset.
They say that over and over again.
But yeah, there are ways that you can make it, you know, that could have been your starting point, your home.
Yeah.
And then you start there, you know, build up your equity, move out once you're ready to move on into a better place.
Yeah. I mean, what a lot of Americans do is, a lot of boomers do, because they're very some of them are house rich, which means they have a lot of equity in their house. So as soon as they sell their house, they're sitting on $200,000, you know, $100,000. So when they'll sell it and then they retire and move to somewhere cheaper, or they'll rent it out, you know, and make money that way. So, I mean, Grant and Robert Kiyosaki talks a lot of crap about homes, but it can have leverage.
Yeah.
It can allow you, normal people like us who have to have a house to live in, it can offer you a lot of leverage. And I mean, basically that's exactly what we're doing. And right now we have the option of selling both of those houses. I could retire off of that money, you know. I mean, I have options because of those homes, so I don't regret buying neither one of them, because it's helped us out a lot. So
Also, another thing that we do personally, that, you know, even though a house is a liability, if you can utilize it and have a home office like what we do, you can actually claim your expense of your business from your home.
Yeah. So there's a lot of little tricks you can do with, as far as taxes or tax write-offs that are illegal, you know, which is what a lot of wealthy people do, is why they quote unquote do not pay taxes, because they just use the tax laws to their advantage. That's all they're doing. And we should do the same thing. Us poor ass people should take advantage of those laws that are there for all of us. So, you know, you should be aware that you can write off all of those. If you happen to be making in a certain tax bracket, you should be getting back some of your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like things like what she said, which is use rooms in your house as an office, because you can do that. That's a legitimate write-off, and it's not even that much. It's like 10% of your home. It's a minuscule compared to what some of the big guys do.
It can be more than 10%, but you gotta look into it depending on what your business, and also your business has to be making money in order for you to do the write-off.
Yeah,
but
it has to have. It has to have a profit, and then the thing is, a profit could mean like you set up a YouTube channel and the YouTube channel made $500 for that year, and then you can write up to $500 off.
Yeah, but at least there are ways, you know.
Yeah.
What really bugs me.
But we're not tax professionals. Go talk to a CPA.
Yes.
Read it up yourself. Don't take our word for it. We're not financial advisors. Do your own damn research.
Yeah, what really bugs me is when people, oh, a house is not an asset, but then you stop taking care of your home, or stop maintaining it, or stop paying mortgage. Like, you can't let that happen, because yeah, it might not be an asset at the moment, but you gotta make sure that you don't become homeless.
Yeah. The thing is, you can use it as leverage. You use it to your advantage. You use the debt that you have taken on to your advantage. So that's what we're doing, and it's really been working for us. I mean, I hope more people can educate themselves on this, and that's why we're talking about this, so we can have the conversation to help people like us, normal ass people,
Yeah, normal
who are trying to
people.
make it, to do something different. Because we
Yeah.
gotta change the game. Like, it's getting way too hard to live out here with one income. It's getting
Yeah.
way too hard to do it. So we're trying to encourage you to get properties when you can, educate yourself financially, use the tax laws to your advantage, all that stuff.
Because the rich, they're saying that, but they're already up there. They're not living with us anymore. They got a life that's
Yeah, they don't have the
beyond comfort.
everyday struggles that you and I have. That some of that stuff, they're so beyond it, and that's
Yeah.
why we kind of want to, on our way up, want to talk about our journey. It's just more beneficial if we can tell you, okay, here's the step we made. Here's the step. Just like years ago, we did a visa to get Yuri to the U.S., and now she's a U.S. citizen. Every step of the way, we went, okay, here's what we're doing now. Here's what we learned now. Here's what we know. And a lot of people followed us.
Yeah.
Followed our lead. We just educated ourselves. Now we're doing the same thing financially. So.
And that is it for this video, guys. Thumbs up and subscribe on our YouTube channel.